Colonel Marcus Harrington felt the ground shake as the first Xendari mothership breached Earth's atmosphere, its gargantuan shadow eclipsing Manhattan's skyline. The air itself seemed to vibrate with a low-frequency hum that made his teeth ache and his combat-hardened nerves stand on edge. He'd spent 15 years preparing for this moment since the first intercepted transmission, knowing that humanity's survival would hinge on the aliens never discovering what he and a select group of scientists had been developing in secret. 15 years ago, Marcus had been a promising young intelligence officer when he first intercepted the alien transmission. The memory was still vivid, the cold sweat as he realized what he was hearing, the trembling of his hands as he alerted his superiors, and their initial disbelief. That discovery had set him on this path, dedicating his life to preparing Earth for an invasion no one wanted to believe was coming. Now, as the massive ship loomed overhead, vindication came with the bitter knowledge of what was at stake. "It's time," he said into his secure comm unit, voice steady despite the weight of 7 billion lives now resting on his shoulders. The memories of his wife Sarah and daughter Emily, both lost in the Chicago incident when the first Xendari scout ship was shot down, flashed through his mind. The Planetary Defense Initiative would finally be put to the test against an enemy who believed they were harvesting defenseless prey. The Xendari had studied Earth for decades, cataloging humans as primitive bipeds with rudimentary technology, unworthy of diplomatic contact, but perfect for resource extraction and biological harvesting. Their arrogance was evident in the casual way their ships now descended, no attempt at stealth or defensive positioning. Their reconnaissance probes had detected nuclear capabilities but missed humanity's quantum leap in weapons technology that occurred after their last detailed scan, an oversight that would prove catastrophic for the invaders. The first Xendari landing party emerged from their craft near Central Park, 8-foot-tall insectoid warriors with chitinous exoskeletons and energy weapons, expecting minimal resistance from the soft-skinned primates their intelligence had described. The ground sizzled where their 3-toed feet touched down, acid secretions marking their path as they moved with predatory grace through the abandoned streets. Throughout the city, seemingly terrified civilians suddenly stopped running, their panicked expressions freezing in place. The Xendari commander clicked his mandibles in what their species considered laughter as he observed the primitive humans foolishly standing their ground. Harvesting will be easier than predicted. He communicated to his subordinates through pheromone signals, unaware that each civilian was in fact a genetically enhanced soldier with neural implants connected to Marcus's tactical network. "Sir, Enhancement Protocol Alpha is online. All field operatives showing green status," reported Lieutenant Chen, her fingers dancing across her console. Marcus nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. This was the culmination of Project Lazarus, soldiers whose DNA had been subtly modified to enhance strength, speed, and neural connectivity. Each volunteer had sacrificed their original identity, undergone painful transformations, all to become humanity's hidden defenders against this day. The first plasma bolt from an alien weapon vaporized a parked vehicle, intended as a demonstration of power to cow the humans into immediate submission. The alien commander raised his weapon again, aiming at the nearest human, a middle-aged man in a business suit who stood motionless. It was the last action the Xendari commander would ever take. Simultaneously across the city, the enhanced human soldiers activated their subdermal shields and pulled nano-weaponry from concealed holsters. The businessmen moved with such speed that to the alien the human seemed to teleport. In less than a second, the soldier drove a quantum disruptor blade through the commander's thorax, the specialized weapon bypassing the alien's exoskeleton as if it were paper. "First blood confirmed," Marcus said, his voice betraying no emotion, though his heart raced. He allowed himself a grim smile as the tactical display showed the first wave of aliens falling in seconds, their supposedly superior biology no match for the quantum disruption. Technology his team had reverse-engineered from the Xendari probe they'd captured. That probe had cost Sarah and Emily their lives, but their sacrifice was now saving millions. "Switching to Phase 2, he commanded, watching as the enhanced soldiers now moved in coordinated assault patterns, systematically eliminating the stunned alien forces. What the Xendari had expected to be a simple harvesting operation had turned into an ambush. "Wells, status on the neural network?" "Neural network operating at 98% efficiency, Colonel," replied Dr. Samantha Wells, her dark eyes intense, as she monitored the brainwave patterns of the enhanced soldiers. As the architect of the neural implant technology, she had given humanity a hive mind capability that matched the Xendari's own natural telepathic advantages. The soldiers are experiencing minimal lag and full tactical integration. It's working even better than our simulations predicted. Package the footage and transmit it to all Xendari vessels in orbit, Marcus commanded, knowing that psychological warfare would be just as important as the technological surprises they had prepared. The alien high command received the transmission with what their species experienced as horror, watching their elite warriors fall to creatures they had dismissed as barely sentient livestock. The hive commander's secondary heart began pumping emergency hormones through his system, his exoskeleton secreting pheromones of alarm that sent his bridge crew into heightened alert. What they were witnessing should have been impossible. The humans were moving with speed and coordination that contradicted all reconnaissance data. Worse, they were using weapons that seemed specifically designed to counter Xendari physiology. This data cannot be accurate, hissed the Xendari science officer, her slender appendages moving frantically over the ship's biological interface. The primates have advanced by at least 300 cycles beyond our projections. They have weaponized the very technology from our downed scout vessel. In orbit, the Xendari Hive commander ordered immediate full-scale bombardment, abandoning all plans for resource harvesting in favor of planetary sterilization. As expected, Marcus said, having anticipated this reaction from an adversary too arrogant to consider retreat as a first option. He had spent sleepless nights wargaming this exact scenario, knowing the aliens would resort to orbital bombardment when faced with unexpected resistance. Samantha, is the adaptive shield technology ready? All 23 shield generators are operational and synchronized. Colonel, she confirmed, the woman responsible for the adaptive shield technology that now protected major population centers. The technology, like so much of humanity's new arsenal, had been developed by studying the quantum principles that powered the Xendari's own defensive systems. Shield harmonics are adaptive and will recalibrate against their weapons in real time. Marcus nodded, his fingers tapping a complex sequence into his command console that would activate humanity's final surprise. Activate the orbital defense grid, he ordered, and around the planet concealed satellites that had been disguised as space debris suddenly powered up, their targeting systems locking onto the Xendari fleet. The Project Artemis satellites had been placed in orbit over the past decade, disguised as communications equipment or scientific instruments, each carrying a fraction of the weaponry needed to challenge the Xendari. Individually, they posed no threat, but networked together they became Earth's orbital sword and shield. The first Xendari energy weapon fired from orbit, a searing beam of concentrated plasma, targeted at New York City. Shield holding at 87% capacity and adapting to their energy signature, Samantha reported, her voice rising with controlled excitement as her creation performed exactly as designed. The adaptive nature of the shield meant that each subsequent attack would be less effective as the defense grid learned and adjusted. The New York generator is already recalibrating. Second attack will only penetrate to 40%. The aliens had no time to process this unexpected defense before the orbital grid responded. The first wave of quantum disruption beams hit their ships. The same technology that had shattered their warriors' exoskeletons, now tearing through their supposedly impenetrable hull materials. Marcus had gambled everything on the theory that the Xendari's biological technology would have the same quantum vulnerabilities throughout their tech tree. Direct hits on 7 vessels, 5 confirmed critically damaged, reported General Rodriguez from the tactical station, his weathered face illuminated by the displays showing real-time battle damage assessments. The screens now confirmed Marcus's hypothesis, as the smaller alien craft began to break apart in orbit, their biomechanical hulls rupturing like infected wounds. The Xendari Hive commander, facing unprecedented defeat, frantically accessed the ship's emergency protocols. Initialize the emergency transmission to the homeworld, he ordered, his voice carrying the pheromonal markers of extreme distress. Send all tactical data, sensor readings, and, he hesitated, knowing what this meant, full disclosure of our technological vulnerabilities. The commander was unknowingly providing Earth with exactly what Marcus had been waiting for: the coordinates of the Xendari home system. In the Pentagon bunker, Samantha's eyes widened as her specialized detection equipment registered the powerful transmission emanating from the alien flagship. "Colonel, they're transmitting." Massive data burst, directed toward the Cygnus arm of the galaxy. Her fingers flew across her console, directing Earth's hidden listening arrays to capture and decode the alien communication. "We're recording everything."
"We've got it,"
Samantha said seconds later, her voice tight with the magnitude of what they'd just accomplished. Her dark eyes gleamed with triumph as the translated data began populating her screens. The transmission contained their star charts, communication protocols, detailed descriptions of their homeworld's defenses, and she paused, checking her data twice. The access codes to their planetary defense network. Marcus allowed himself to fully smile for the first time since the invasion began, placing a hand briefly on Samantha's shoulder. The gesture was unprofessional, perhaps, but in this moment they were more than colleagues. They were the architects of humanity's salvation. "Begin decryption and analysis. Priority on their propulsion technology and defensive systems." He turned to address the entire command center, raising his voice. "Ladies and gentlemen, as of this moment, we are no longer just defending Earth. We are preparing to take the fight to them." The weeks following the failed Xendari invasion transformed human society more profoundly than any event since the discovery of fire. Nations that had been enemies for generations now worked together, pooling resources and knowledge to prepare for what everyone understood would be the true test. The Xendari counterattack that would inevitably come once their homeworld received the distress transmission. Marcus stood at the window of his new office in the United Earth Defense Force headquarters, watching as construction drones swarmed over the first human-built starship. The massive vessel nearly completed in the Nevada desert facility incorporated all they had learned from the captured Xendari technology. "We've named her Retribution," General Rodriguez said as he entered the office, carrying tablets with the latest progress reports. "Appropriate," Marcus nodded, taking the tablet and reviewing the specs. The ship represented humanity's determination never again to be caught unprepared. And the crew selection, the best we have, multinational, cross-disciplinary, and all enhanced with the latest neural implants. Rodriguez hesitated. "The UN Security Council has confirmed your appointment as mission commander, Colonel. Or should I say Admiral Harrington?" Marcus waved away the new title. "The mission launches in 3 days. The Xendari will be expecting a counterattack, but not this soon, and certainly not with ships using their own technology against them." He turned back to the window, watching the sunrise reflect off the Retribution's hull. "Have Dr. Wells join us. We need to finalize the tactical approach." 3 months after the failed invasion, Marcus stood on the bridge of the HSS Retribution, the first human warship built with reverse-engineered Xendari technology. The ship hummed with power as it prepared for its first faster-than-light jump. The crew, 200 of Earth's finest, all neurally connected into a hive mind inspired by the Xendari's own communication system, but improved by Samantha's innovations, waited for his command. "All systems optimal, Admiral," reported Commander Zhao, the ship's Chinese executive officer. "The neural network is stable, and all crew report ready status." The neural connection allowed Marcus to feel not just his crew's readiness, but their determination, their fear, and beneath it all, their rage at what the Xendari had attempted to do to their homeworld. "Coordinates for the Xendari home system are locked in, sir," Samantha reported from her station. Their shared history evident in the way they communicated with minimal words, maximum efficiency. "Based on their technology, we should arrive before their distress signal. The advantage of surprise will be ours. They came to our world believing us to be easy prey, incapable of defending ourselves." Marcus addressed the crew as they prepared for humanity's first interstellar military operation. He could feel their attention through the neural link, their minds focused on his words. "Today we show them, and any other species watching, that humanity will not only defend itself, but will take the fight to those who threaten our existence." "Initiating FTL drive," announced the helmsman, her hands moving across controls that merged human intuition with alien technology. The view screen showed hundreds of similar ships behind them, Earth's new fleet, ready to ensure the Xendari would never threaten another world again. "Jump in 3, 2, 1. The sensation of FTL travel through the neural network was unlike anything Marcus had experienced in training simulations. a collective awareness of moving impossibly fast while remaining perfectly still. Through the link, he could sense crew members experiencing everything from exhilaration to nausea, but all maintaining professional composure. 7 days of FTL travel passed in a blur of duty shifts, tactical planning and final weapon calibrations. Dropping out of FTL in 30 seconds, the helmsman announced, her voice steady despite the historic nature of what they were about to do. Marcus straightened in his command chair, feeling the anticipation ripple through the neural network connecting his crew. All stations, Battle Readiness Protocol Alpha. The Retribution emerged from FTL on the edge of the Xendari home system, its advanced stealth systems immediately activating to mask their arrival. Through the main view screen, Marcus beheld the alien homeworld for the first time, a massive ringed planet with 3 moons, surrounded by orbital structures that dwarfed anything humans had built in space. "No sign they've detected us," Samantha reported, her eyes moving rapidly as she processed the sensor data flowing directly into her mind through the neural interface. "Their orbital defense grid is operating in standby mode. They've received no warning from Earth yet." She looked up, meeting Marcus's gaze. "We have approximately 14 hours before their distress signal arrives. Deploy the infiltration team," Marcus ordered, and deep within the Retribution, a specialized squad of enhanced humans prepared to board a captured Xendari shuttle. The team, led by Major Quan, had been specifically modified to mimic Xendari biological signatures, their neural implants programmed with the alien language and customs. Their mission is to upload the virus to the planetary defense network. No engagement unless absolutely necessary. 6 hours later, Marcus received the confirmation signal. The infiltration team had successfully penetrated the Xendari security systems and uploaded the virus Samantha had designed specifically to disable their planetary defenses. "Phase 1 complete," he announced to the bridge crew, feeling their collective satisfaction through the neural link. "Move to Phase 2, bring the fleet out of stealth and establish orbit. Signal the infiltration team to move to Extraction Point Alpha." The Xendari home defense fleet scrambled to intercept the human armada, but their weapons found no purchase against shields designed specifically to counter their technology. The virus had already spread through their command network, reducing their coordination to individual ship actions, rather than the hive mind tactics they relied upon. In the Xendari High Council chamber, the Supreme Hive Coordinator faced the unthinkable: surrender negotiations with a species they had classified as fodder. "Incoming transmission from the Xendari leadership," Commander Zhao reported, surprise evident in both her voice and her neural signature. "They're requesting terms of surrender, Admiral." Marcus stood, straightening his uniform as the view screen shifted to show the Xendari Supreme Hive Coordinator, a massive insectoid being whose ornate exoskeleton and multiple specialized limbs marked it as the pinnacle of their evolution. "This is Admiral Marcus Harrington of Earth," he began, using the translation software Samantha had perfected. "Your species came to our world with the intention of harvesting and exterminating us. You assumed us to be primitive and defenseless. That miscalculation has cost you your empire. You misunderstood us fundamentally." Marcus continued, feeling the weight of representing not just a military force, but all of humanity in this first formal contact with an alien civilization. "Humans don't seek to conquer. We seek to survive, and we will do whatever necessary to ensure that survival." The terms Marcus presented were non-negotiable. The Xendari would surrender their offensive capabilities, provide reparations in the form of technology transfers, and most importantly, join a new interstellar accord that would prevent future aggressions against developing worlds. "You came to Earth expecting to find prey, but instead discovered that humans are apex predators who had simply not yet reached your neighborhood," Marcus concluded. The neural network pulsed with approval from his crew, their collective consciousness reinforcing his position. "We accept your terms," the Supreme Hive Coordinator responded, its translator rendering the complex pheromonal language into English. "The Xendari Collective acknowledges its error in judgment regarding your species. We will comply with all conditions." 5 years later, Marcus sat in his office at the United Earth Diplomatic Corps headquarters, reviewing reports from joint human-Xendari scientific missions. Outside his window, Washington, D.C. had been rebuilt with elements of alien architecture, integrated with human design, creating a cityscape that symbolized the new era of interspecies cooperation. The initial invasion, despite its casualties, had accelerated human development by centuries and fundamentally changed humanity's place in the galactic community. The Arcturus mission just sent their final report, Samantha said as she entered his office without knocking, the privilege earned through years of partnership that had evolved from professional to personal. The gold band on her left hand matched the one he now wore, their shared experiences during Earth's darkest hour having forged a bond that neither had expected. The Xendari scientists have identified 3 more species with aggressive expansion patterns similar to their own. They're recommending preemptive diplomatic contact. Marcus nodded, rising from his desk to examine the star chart she activated. Yet he couldn't help but wonder about the other spacefaring civilizations they'd discovered in the Xendari databases, many with similar histories of conquest. The humans who had gone to the stars were not the same humans the Xendari had attempted to harvest. They were more powerful, more united, and potentially more dangerous. "We stopped being prey," he mused to Samantha, now his wife as well as colleague. "But we have to be careful not to become the very predators we defeated." The Xendari thought might made right, and it cost them their empire. "We can't make the same mistake." Samantha nodded, placing a hand on his shoulder as they looked out at the transformed skyline of Washington, D.C., now home to ambassadors from 12 formerly hostile species who had witnessed the Xendari defeat and chosen diplomatic relations over similar fates. "That's why I've been working with the Council on the Sentinel Initiative," she said, activating another hologram that showed a network of diplomatic outposts at the borders of human space. Early contact, cultural exchange, mutual defense agreements, building bridges instead of weapons. "The universe tested us, and instead of breaking, we evolved," she said, activating a holographic projection of their next diplomatic mission. Her eyes, still as sharp and intelligent as when they first met, now carried wisdom earned through years of interspecies diplomacy. The Xendari's fatal miscalculation wasn't just underestimating our technology or our resolve. It was failing to understand that humans thrive most when we have a common cause, a shared purpose. Marcus smiled, taking her hand as they prepared to meet with the latest delegation, representatives from a reclusive species on the rim of the galaxy, who had observed humanity's rise with cautious interest. "Then let's give them a common cause worth fighting for," he said. "Not just survival, but something better. A galaxy where intelligence respects intelligence, where strength protects rather than dominates." The fatal miscalculation of one species had opened the door for humanity's greatest achievement, turning potential conquerors into allies through a perfect balance of strength and mercy.